how it is. Then third is completely karma yoga. Then now fourth, fifth will be jnanam. And we all know we are all grahasthas, and without karma yoga, jnana yoga is impossible. Without jnana yoga, karma is incomplete. Karma yoga is incomplete. But what do we understand by jnana yoga? So yes. So self. The self word is very important. We know who am I. I am Sachin, doctor. Now I am sitting in Sangam Hospital, tumor, this room. That is lower self. The whole problem starts with the wrong identification of yourself with the lower self. Now, when you require this knowledge, jnana means knowledge. When you acquire this knowledge about what, about anything else, it is about yourself, self-knowledge. Then what will go away? This self-ignorance. We are ignorant about our real self. Are you all with me? The real self is not Sachin, means you can relate to yourself also. I am not this body and the mind within it, which is constantly in some kind of reaction with the world around and creating a bigger world inside. Isn't it true? Every now and then, every day-to-day activities, we are constantly in a flux. So what happens is this type of reaction, chain reaction, will lead us to nowhere. But this is because of our ignorance, self-ignorance. The knowledge is about this self-ignorance. That is self-knowledge. That we call as jnana. And as Sir said, and he said, it is self-knowledge or liberation. Once you attain this self-knowledge, then no body is remaining. No body is reacting with the mind, with the world. So you suddenly become like the wave becomes one with the ocean. So what will happen after the knowledge? That you will have this body mind from till so many years, 40 years, more years. I know myself like this. But suddenly when you get awakened from this dream state, then you realize, oh, this is a bigger dream. And all these characters are just my created characters. And then what will happen? The interaction with your own self, everyone will be yourself. Then the interaction with this world will not interfere. Nothing will happen to you. Any relations, any transactions, any positions will if it gains or loses, will not affect your higher self. That is the meaning of jnana. Not that tomorrow we just drop this body. I mean, suddenly you see in the pictures, movies, that one big halo comes and the person goes up. It will not happen. Don't go for that. That is all in yeah. So the real life is different. The real life is different. In the real life, you will be carrying on with this body mind. Why? Because you have come with a prarabdha karma. I'm just taking one because two people have not come for a long time. So I have to come back to them. So I'm not pointing out one, many are there. Physically, they may be here, yes, but mentally they may not be there. So I have to recollect that thoughts. So that's why. So when our prarabdha karma has got us this body, when the body will go, when the sthula sharira will go, sukshma sharira will go. Yeah. So the prarabdha karma, the bank balance is over. Yeah, then it will go. But our whole aim is what? When we identify with the higher self and the lower self is gone, Sachin is gone. Everyone is myself. Everything is mine as well as everyone's. Then the agami karma also goes. And this knowledge will kill the entire sanchita karma also. So what will happen? No next janma, means the sukshma sharira cannot travel to another body. See, we have three. Ma, she said, Stula, Sukshma, and Karana. So Stula Sharira is going to end with this Janma. But Sukshma Sharira will take another body. The SIM card will go into another mobile phone. So this is what we have to do. If you understand the real knowledge, you don't acquire any papa punya. And whatever acquired in the cloud will also gone, because then you break the SIM card. Once you break the SIM card, no more bodies. Correct? When the water in the waves is identified with the water in the ocean, there is no ocean, no wave. So this is the knowledge. Very easy to say. I can say in very different beautiful ways. But to start with in your daily life, because why do we do Bhagavad Gita? Why didn't we do Upanishad? Upanishad is all dialogue between a very matured teacher and a brahmachari or sannyasi. Very few Upanishads there is a grahastha also, but Upanishad we didn't take because this relates to us. Arjuna is we all. We are in everyday thick of things. We are grahasthas. So this teaching is much more nearer to us. That's why it's simplified for us. And we can relate to that because we are in war. We have to do the action, but still we cannot show that we are doing the action. In today's verses are so beautiful. Coming to the 4th chapter, here Bhagwan directly introduces himself. He says to Arjuna, oh Arjuna, listen, this is nothing but like old knowledge, which was Upanishads, Vedas, I have converted into Bhagavad Gita and telling to you. And Arjuna was little dumbfounded that, old knowledge and that time Surya Bhagwan and all that, you were not there, Krishna. Then Krishna says, I've taken avatar. Avatar is the difference between avatar and our birth, Janma, Jiva. You know the differences, right? So avatar descends down for the benefit of the local, whatever at that time, Dharma. And Jiva is just born. It falls down, falls down. Avatar is not limited with anything. It is unlimited. He can do anything. And it is all a sport for him. He always smiles. Even Ravana was killed. Rama was not angry, was not very happy. He was in a very balanced mood. But Jiva is always going to have good things, bad things. According to the good, he will be very elated. According to something going wrong, he will be very depressed. So this thing doesn't affect the avatar. That is the difference between the avatar and the Jiva. There are many differences which we are going to see. And today's few verses are very important. I think 4.7, 4.5, 4.6. Yeah, so very important verses. Let us go through. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru One last thing about this is satsang. This is not going to give us any degree, but still so many 12, 13 people are following from 1.5 years. Now that you are following, now that you are committed, I request few things. Like one discipline is every day they are putting one quiz. Let it be wrong. You have to answer. I'm becoming like a teacher now, that typical teacher. But there is no way now. I see you as now a small kids. Because someone efforts are put and you are not reading or not answering. Why we want it? Because this has to continue for a consistent period of time. And it should be done by as a chintanam mananam. Otherwise, we will be again same next janma, we will have to get them. So please write, it is only 1 second. It may be wrong. Answer is given next day. It takes a lot of effort. So we have to, the only way to go to Guru, no big material thing can be given. This is how you read, you answer, you take participation. I am following that with my Guru, and one day you will get Guru grace. So let us, we are at least 12, but I see only 7, 8 people answering. Okay? So this is a request. It will come again after 6 months, I know. But I will not leave it.
Other phone, it's not working most of the time.
No, madam, not you alone. It is all.
Sir,
Maybe wrong, it will not reveal secret.
but it's not happening, sir. We learn only when we are in
Not make it public.
How we are? No, see, sir, that answer today we give, tomorrow we forget also. But the person who is making that quiz will be very happy that some answers are coming. And the next, after today's class, I know direct 7:30 only people will know today's class. That gap I want to reduce. Per day, one thing will come in mind, That's what I feel. Okay. Next.
Before
4.5.
understanding, as Sachin enumerated, the difference between Avatara and just I want to
Jiva, yes.
just to took the first, which Nitya did very nicely. Oh Arjuna, many births of mine as well as yours have gone by. I know them all. Oh Arjuna, you do not know. You are a Jivatma, you may not know the births, but I know the birth from beginning to end. That is it. Based, blessed Lord answers Arjuna. He also took birth as human. Arjuna also took birth as human. Jivatma and Paramatma are one and identical. Both Jivatma and Paramatma are Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Jivatma is called birth, Paramatma is called Avatara. Next. The difference between Ishvara Avatara and Manushya Janma. First is cause. Karana Beta. Birth of Jivatma is due to total ignorance. Birth of the Avatara is knowledge. Because of ignorance, Jivatma has got the problem of ego and ahankara. Because of problem of ego, there is problem of karma, and because of karma, there is a problem of bhava. Because of bhava manyam, there is a janma. This is called, as our Sachin told, it is a fall. Fall. World is controlled by Maya. Ishvara is a lot of Maya, and Jiva is a subject of Maya. Ishvara incarnates himself by controlling Maya, and for establishing dharma in the world, Ishvara Avatara is Sarva Jnana, so omniscience, full of knowledge. It is called descendants. The picture. That is fall, this is descendants. Next. First is I told Karana, now it is nature. Nature of Swarupa Veda. Jiva Janma is because of ignorance. So Jiva is Samsara. Born with sorrow, indicated by crime, and continues throughout the life with crime. Ishvara Avatara is backed by knowledge. So Avatara is Nitya Mukta Swarupa. That is A Samsari. Jiva's Sariram is made up from Maya through Pancha Bhutani. Pancha Bhautika Sariram. Here, Avatara Sariram is made up Maya directly, it is Maya to physical body. Sublimation, it is Mayika Sariram. That is Pancha Bhautika Sariram, this is Mayika Sariram. Avatara is made of Mayika Sariram. Next, third thing is purpose. This is Udesh Ude Veda. Jiva Sanma is exhausts the power of Punya accumulated so far. Avatara does not have any power of Punya accumulated so that there is no point of exhaustion. Ishvara Avatara is to protect Dharma and destroy adharmic activities. Bhagavan will assume any form for the sake of Bhakta Anugraha. One example is Rama, another is Narasimha. The main difference, main focus today is this only. What are the difference between Jiva and Avatara? Karana Sariram, the Karana Veda is Anyani, this is Sarva Jnana form. Birth due to ignorance, this is birth due to knowledge. Subject of Maya, this is Lord of Maya. Fall and descendants. And Swarupa Veda is Samsari, is the Sariram is Panchabhautika Sariram, this is Mayika Sariram. Uddesha Veda is Punya Babam Sahaya. Here Dharma, Samasta Panam, and Lokas Shankara. Avatara is not restricted by ignorance, so they know the present, past, and future. Jiva is limited by ignorance, so they do not know about the past or future janmas. Arjun, last time. Arjun, you are a valiant warrior who has slain so many powerful enemies. Now you do not accept defeat before this doubt that has crept in your mind. Use the sword of knowledge that I am giving you to slay it and be situated in wisdom. This is the verse, fifth verse. Now coming to sixth verse. Sixth verse.
He has
Anybody?
been Radha and
Oh,
Ajopi.
Divya, Ajopi.
Ajopi Sannavyatma. Ajopi Sannavyatma. Bhutanam Ishvaropi Sam. Bhutanam Ishvaropi Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. Bhava.
Even though I am birthless and deathless, even though I am the Lord of beings, I take birth through my own Maya by resorting to my Prakriti. Birthless and deathless அப்படிங்கிறது இது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா not for Krishna alone, for any god in our literature. There is one today's Abhikruti. There is a song in for Murugan. It's Semman Mahalai Thirudam Thirudam. Arunarinathar was singing the song. Semman Mahalai Thirudam Thirudam. Semman Mahalai வந்து வள்ளி எடுத்துட்டு போறாரு. Semman Mahalai Thirudam Thirudam. Pemman Murugan Piravan Iravan. He is no birth, he is no death. This thing is reflected in all the gods. This is Gaumara. Murugan is Gaumara. So this is common to everyone. I want to say. Then I am Aja. Ajana Gota. It means goat. Don't take the straight from goat. Gaja Vina Ajana Adu. Gajana Yana. I am Aja. I am of changeless nature. Here he is everything. Goat. He is the goat. He is Gaja. Everything he is. But I am changeless nature. Not subject to changeless, not subject to decay or death. Janma Varjita. I am the master of all living beings. I have chosen to come down to this world.
Yes.
Prakriti nana, the matter, the material, body under my control, I am born. Jiva is the slave of the matter. Prakriti is matter. Avatara is master of the matter. Jiva is the slave of the matter. So it controls, and Jiva is do the thing which it gets ordered. It is a slavery. Next. One example Swamiji is quoting. One man was brought by one policeman. So the son is asking his father, what is the problem? Why he is like this? He said he's a thief. He is controlled by the police. He is taking. The next another few seconds later, one thief comes. Two policemen are there. Then my son is asking why two policemen for this fellow is a big thief. There are two policemen are there. Here, see this. There are 1,000 policemen are coming. Our chief minister is coming. So why is asking? Why 100 policemen? It is not so. Here the policemen are controlling the thief. Here the man he is controlling the policeman. He is a controller master. He is a slave. Next. I am also surrounded by body-mind complex. Bhagavan also surrounded by body-mind complex called Prakriti. Lord is its master. I have taken the body with the help of Maya Tattvam by producing Maika Sarigam. Garbhavasa is not at all good for me. Patina, Garbha Valley, Arsimar Ganda is 9 months Garbhama, 10 months Garbha. Chadaram. Next.
Krishna ராமருக்கு இல்ல அவிர்வாகம் தான். அந்த யாகம் பண்ணும்போது அவிர்வாகம் தான் அந்த குழந்தையா வருதுன்ற மாதிரி சொல்லுவாங்க. கிருஷ்ணா மட்டும்
there is a light descending from above to where it is.
And Lord
the marriage-லயே போகும்போது சிசுபாலன் is driving the chariot. அப்போ வந்து ஒரு அசரதி கேட்கும், மூடனே தான் கேட்கும், யாருமே திரும்பி வாங்க மாட்டான், இவன் ஒருத்தன் தான் திரும்பி வாங்க, சிசுபாலன் தான் திரும்பி. அப்பதான் சொல்லும் 8வது குழந்தை அது பிறக்கிறது ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சைல்டு பிறந்தவொடனே சரி வேண்டாம் விட்டுலாம் அப்படின்னு அவன் மனசு நினைக்கும். தென் நாரதர் கேம் எப்படி 8 1ல இருந்து 8னா 8 8ல இருந்து ரிவர்ஸ் இருக்குதுல்ல இந்த 1 வந்து 8 ஆயிடுதுல்ல. தென் ஹவு டு யூ கால் பேர் செய்யுதுன்னு அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் குழந்தை போது இந்த அவன் கால்குலேஷன் தப்பு பண்ணிடுறான்.
அதனாலதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் குழந்தை வந்து
முதல்ல விட்டுடுவான் கொஞ்சம். அவன் வந்து ஆகி கெஞ்சுவா 8வது குழந்தை தானேன்பா. அதுக்குதான் இந்த 7வது குழந்தையை கொண்டு போய் ரோகிணி விதத்துல ஏத்துட்டு அதை கால்குலேஷன் மிஸ்கால்குலேட் பண்ணிட்டு அந்த 8th குழந்தை அங்க இருந்து கொண்டு வரும் பொழுது அது காலியா அடிக்கும் போது காலியா மாறி நான் சொல்றோம் வேற எங்கேயோ.
வருஷம்
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. So it's a very, very famous verse which we have often heard. And here God says, "Oh Arjuna, whenever there is a decline of righteousness, good, and increase of unrighteousness, evil or bad, then indeed I create myself." So this was
தர்மம் தர்மம் சூதுகோபம்
அதர்மம் மேலோங்கி Oh Arjuna, whenever there is decline of righteousness or good, increase of unrighteousness, evil or bad, then indeed I create myself. The verses about it. Though this verse is about Jnana Yoga, first 8 verse is a little deviation where Krishna speaks more about the importance of Gita Stuti, the importance of reading Gita Stuti, and then about the Rahasyam, Avataram Rahasyam. So that is discussed here. And then how one, when, why it takes place is all explained in this verse. So the Vishnu avatars 24 இருக்கு. தசாவதாரம் இருக்கு சார். அது இல்லாம நகா 14 they added 24 avatars இருக்கு.
Is it new or I am new?
இல்ல சில avatars வந்து they are confusion. Balarama, Buddha, அதெல்லாம் வந்து ஆதி புருஷா. So Adi Purush, primary avatar of Lord Vishnu. Then 4 Kumaras, first 4 conscious being created by Lord Brahma. Narada, the son of Lord Brahma, the big devotee of Lord Vishnu. Nara Narayana. Nara and Narayana are 2 twin sage avatars of Lord Vishnu. Kapila is described as an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Dattatreya is a god who is an incarnation of divine Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Dattatreya. Then Yagna, the ritual where the fire is lighted and sacrifice is made to make wishes to the deities is also seen as a thing. Then Rishabha. Rishabha was a preacher and a spiritual leader. There's big stories behind it. So. Then Prithu. Prithu was the first sacred king. Dhanvantri. Dhanvantri is the god who emerged holding a pot of Amrit in his hand. Then Mohini is a female avatar of Vishnu. Then Hayagriva, he has a fair man's body with the head of a horse. Vyasa, he authored Mahabharata, is also taken as an avatar.
Vyasa is also an avatar.
Matsya is known to have the half fish and half human form of Lord Vishnu. Kurma is a half tortoise, half man form of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu took the Kurma avatar during the Samudra Matham, turning of the ocean. Then Varaha is a half man and half boar avatar of Vishnu. Narasimha is a half lion and half human avatar of Vishnu. Vamana, this avatar of Lord Vishnu, comes to check the growing power of the demonic king Mahabali. Parashuram, he is depicted as sage with an axe in his hand. Rama, all of us know. Balarama is also taken as one avatara. Krishna, Lord Vishnu, is in a we all know again. Then Buddha, adopting Buddha into the Hindu pantheon was a way of trying to neutralize the popularity of Buddhism. Buddha is a avatar to be to neutralize Kalki. Then Kalki is the only avatar of Vishnu that is yet to be born. Sorry, sir?
Research.
கல்வி அந்தந்த இடத்துல எங்க வேணுமோ அங்கெல்லாம் அதே இருக்காங்கன்னு தானே அர்த்தம். இன்னும் கல்வியா?
Correctly, but identify ourselves.
Actually, ஒரு யூடியூப்ல இறக்கி நம்ம வீடியோ அதுல வந்து ஒரு ஃபேமிலி சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாரு. லைக் எங்க பார்த்தாலும் ஏதோ எல்லா வில்லேஜ்லயும் நான் கல்கி அவதான் யாரோ ஒருத்தர் இருக்காங்க. நாட் எட்
ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ண முடியல.
So the first 8 verse again is a deviation where we learn about importance of avatar and Gita Stuti. So we all know Karma Yoga is involving converting all our actions as worship, activities as worship. It may be your personal, whatever you do for your personal, your life or for professional life also. It should be like a worship. So that means you will do everything with consciousness, respect, discipline, and all the best things. And automatically, when you look around you, your mind will not be clouded with all problems and everything. You will start witnessing God in everything and yourself one among everything. So you become, that oneness will start being created once you start working with worship as like work as your worship, keeping your work as a worship. When you do that, automatically the E from the ego goes up and you start going with whatever happens, because definitely this karma yoga is working with the outside world. Nothing is going to be the way we want it to be. Everything is going to have its own thing. We should not get affected by it and we should keep going on. Once this attitude gets developed, your emotions, your body, your mind, all this balance will come in. The wholeness and the wellness will start happening in and around you. Because only when this happens, you can enter into Jnana Yoga, which needs a lot of looking into yourself. When you're already occupied with so much things which is happening around you, definitely you can never get a chance to look into yourself. So then this Karma Yoga, when it is involving activities being into worship, your mental purity happens. And then comes Jnana Yoga, and this involves self-inquiry through scriptures under the guidance of Guru. We know that Vedanta, Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana. So Vedanta is Gita Stuti, learning scriptures, because only when you start learning scriptures, the ignorance is taken away, it is lit by knowledge. So you start getting inquisitive about knowing more and more about it. Then the faith, Shraddha comes in, then you surrender to God and start believing in Him as well as looking at Him into yourself also. Then Shravana and Manana is listening. Only when there is quietness around you and you start learning, a little bit of knowledge comes inside you, you start listening to the real energies around you. And Manana is looking deeply. Once you start listening, and then you start being thoughtful about it, think and work on it, more on it. And Nidhyasana is meditation. That will happen in its full form only. All this works together, and then you'll start aligning with your inner self.
All together, all in
sir?
all should work together.
The meditate panano bina so many thoughts come inside. When we start looking the work as worship and then learning scriptures and then think about it, we'll start relating with energies about us. So and then by doing that, you'll be aligning into yourself. You'll be looking to the God which is already inside you. So by doing so, all the disturbances from outside will start going out of it, and harmony will come within a person, and all of us.
Go up, all golden butterflies will come.
Exactly. Something like that. So once that harmony comes in, the golden butterflies of calmness will come inside you, and all of us only form the society. So when this happens in the society as a whole, all the problems, all these things will start vanishing, and there will be harmony and peace around in society also. So the individual and society, we should be in harmony with each other and within ourselves, and with the energies in and around us. Once that is disturbed, and then avatar happens. So as all of us have discussed a lot about it, the difference, all of us, in all birth, Maya is the means of manifestation. But in avatar, it's divine birth in self Maya or Atma Maya. So normal birth is lower Maya, avidya, or Maya of ignorance. We take birth compelled by Christian desire or craving, and we are mortal, prarabdha, action, prarabdha action done. Let us like previous birth, everything is collected and we come here. But in divine birth or avatar, it's Yoga Maya, Vidya Maya, or power of divine consciousness, the power of the Godhead, aware of its way. God knows why he's coming. We never know our purpose. We keep searching for the purpose, but God knows this is the purpose. I'm coming down to this world. And he's born of his own power, Atma Maya, and in divine Prakriti reflects a divine spirit, eternal, bliss, no past, no, like everything is one. And Krishna takes birth in mercy upon mankind, and his body is made by him making use of Maya Shakti. In Samhita of Rig Vedas, he who is Prajapati, Lord of creation, and is himself Aja, birthless, he enters various wombs and takes birth in many shapes. And why does he do it? This avatar comes to call and draw men, us, to the divine light. Sri Krishna clarifies Arjuna's doubts and discloses the divine mystery about his descension, how God comes here. So by clarifying Arjuna's doubt, he tells us the secret behind it. He says that although God is unborn and eternal, it is to establish Dharma, the path of righteousness, that he descends on this earth by his Yoga Maya power. And his birth and activities are divine and cannot be tainted with material imperfection. Once a devotee knows this secret and engages in devotion with great faith, he attains God and does not take birth in this world. So now we know this mystery is about his eternal birthless and divinity as being told. And Krishna, who's known as Lord of all beings, is Budhana Ishwaraha, claims that whenever the decay of Dharma happens, and to set right it over the adharma, he projects himself. And now why that and how? That is, it is not that every time a person has to come into this world to do something. It is happening, as we already saw, it's the individual and the society. There's God here and there. So it is all happening in our consciousness. So the crisis in which the avatar appears is a crisis of consciousness of humanity into a consciousness, and to make some new adjustment and development in the human nature. And this avatar comes to set before us as model of divine light, purify us by the light of knowledge, to call us to take refuge in the Atman, and so as to enter into Krishna, the divine. So all this happens for us. This our Swamiji has very easily, cutely has put it, like in a scientific manner. He says he compares the world, human body and cosmic body, all functions in harmony. And any harmonious system will have an intrinsic protection devices also there. Any natural healthy system will have the provision for its own self-protection. Exactly as in the case of a healthy body, it is immune system. We call it immune system in our healthy body. And Bhagavan Sri Ram is the protector of the universe. And he's given, Swamiji has given 3 examples. That is when we sneeze or something falls, some dust into our eyes, or when we have a very bad stomach. We don't plan, we automatically sneeze, and it is never under our control. And you cannot say like, wait, or you can't control it. And It is not will born. You don't create it, happens. Means just happens in a minute, something enters. And so it's the water starts coming from our eyes. And so when we're having a stomach pain also, the reactions happen immediately and the immune system works hard to take the unwanted stuff away. And this will not happen every time. It will happen only when it is necessary, whenever it is necessary. So the universe is a cosmic system and Bhagwan Sri Ram and Bhagwan Shariram, and whenever there is disturbance, the world itself will find an appropriate method of defending the Dharma whenever it is required. Therefore, Avatara is like immunity system of the universe. Exactly like the individual immunity system, Avatara is cosmic immunity system, and whenever it is required, it will be automatically happy. Thank you.
Verse 4.8. Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkrūtāṃ dharma samsthāpanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. For the protection of the righteous, for the destruction of the unrighteous, and for the establishment of righteousness, I am born in every age. Here, Krishna is talking about the reason of the avatar. He says for every yugam or every amount of time, God comes to establish the dharma. So establishment of dharma is done in two ways. One is paritrāṇāya sadhūnām, that is protection of dharma and dharmic people. The other way is dushkrutam vinashaya, that is destruction of adharmic people. The protection is like how when we want to protect the scriptures and the people who teach us the scriptures, that is one way of protection. The second of destruction of adharmic people can be done in two ways. One is converting them to dharma. That is the best way because they will realize what they are doing wrong and they will help in future. So Krishna says that it should be done gently. Sama, Dana, Veda. Sama is Kolara Solvaru, persuasion. Tell them in a nice way. Dana is giving them interesting things. You be good, like how you tell a child, you do this, I'll give you a nice thing, like that. Give them incentives to do good. Veda is punishment. Then beyond that, it will become Himsa, Nasa and Himsa.
Veda is punishment.
Veda is punishment. Sorry. Veda is, sorry, my mistake. Veda is enforcing rules. Rules for the Pritam Pandanu சொல்ற மாதிரி. And the next one would be punishment would be Danda and Danda. Danda is punishment. Punishment is that. That's what. But Danda is punishment. My mistake. So each type of person can establish dharma in different ways. A Kshatriya cannot go around teaching scriptures. It is not in his code of conduct. So a Kshatriya can do it in two ways. Protecting and providing for the people who are good. So here Rama helped the Yajna and the priests and sages there by preventing the demons from harassing them. Similarly, a Kshatriya can give to the dharmic people. He can punish people also. He can actively punish them, hurt them, kill them, whatever. Next is the Brahmanas. Brahmanas have only one way of protection of dharma, which is teaching. They will teach, they will pray, and they will help people by giving them knowledge. Whereas when God comes, like how Krishna came, He comes in different forms in each yuga as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Balarama, Rama, Krishna, and Kalki, which is to be seen. Rama and Krishna are the avatars which we discuss most. Rama and Krishna are the avatars which we discuss the most. Rama lived a life which is a teaching. Everything about his life we learn from it. That is called Rama Ayana, Rama's journey. His journey through his life, from birth to death, every point of his life was a teaching to humanity. He established Dharma in that way, mainly. அடுத்தது Krishna Avatara. Krishna was an avatar which taught Arjuna as Bhagavad Gita and also destroyed the adharmic people. Vamana yeah, each one was Matsya vandu and the Pralayatappa, only Manu was given the knowledge that you have to save humanity in Sonnappa. He took the 7 rishis,
Yes, yes.
he took the
In one
rishis and his family in one boat. So Matsya helped in that thing. Then next is Kurma. Kurma Avatara and the churning of the ocean, it helped to lift up Mantara mountain. Then Matsya Kurma Varaha was when earth fell into the seas, the Avatar went to lift up the earth itself. Then Narasimha is the most popular story we keep hearing. Aduthathu Vamana, it's actually a gradation. First one, the Matsya is the lowest form of life as a fish. Next is Kurma, it has become amphibious, land and water. Then it is Varaha, it is animal. Narasimha is half man, half animal. Vamana is a dwarf. We cannot say it is a handicap, but it is a lesser form of a human being. Vamana Avatara, again against Mahabali, when he was gaining too much power and too much arrogance, Vamana came to keep him in check. Then is Parashurama. Parashurama is a Brahmana who became a Kshatriya. So again, he was not the perfect person. And he felt he had to avenge so many unrighteous people in the world, so he came. Next comes Balarama. Balarama, I'm not sure how to put it here. He was not he didn't do it separately. It was with Krishna that he did all his deeds. Right, sir?
You don't consider, some people don't consider.
Rama. So then Rama, Krishna we know, and then Kalki is
Basically the transition of intelligence, that is Vamana Avatar. Before that, the intelligence part is less. So Vamana Avatar, that's why we celebrate Vishu and all that time. But Vamana Avatar is very important.
The last few verses, Krishna spoke mainly about his avatars, and it was a light shift from our topic because we are concentrating more on moksha marga. So again, from this verse, it is Krishna says our ways to attain moksha or the right path. Janma karma cha me divyam. एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन. O Arjuna, he who thus really knows my divine birth and action does not take another birth after giving up the body. he attains me. So here, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, when you realize that my body is different from the what I am truly who I am, then you will automatically attain liberation. It is for every one of us because we associate Krishna to the physical appearance that we see. But actually, when we know real Krishna, when we have identified God, then we can get true liberation. But in second chapter, we have seen Krishna says to Arjuna, when you realize yourself, you can attain liberation or moksha. So here Swamiji asks, so is there two ways, whether you can attain moksha by realizing God or by realizing your own self? So here again, we have seen this example so many times, like how a wave, when it knows, a wave, when the wave knows its true nature, that is, it is water. And again, the ocean also, when it realizes that it is water, it is the same. So, and according to our scriptures, we have only one path to liberation. So here, Swamiji says, God realization and self-realization, or realizing our true self, the knowledge about our true self, leads to liberation. So both God realization and self-realization are the same, because we realize when we gain full knowledge, we realize that God is within us, self. So we have seen some people who say, I have seen God, by telling the statue of God, or there are some people who says, I know myself but not God. So this is not true knowledge. The true knowledge comes only when we realize that both God realization and self-realization, or both God and I, the true self of me, are the same. So, and Ramana Maharishi in his book Sadarsanam, he has given these verses. Yadi Shittur Vikshana Mikshitaram Avikshyatan Manashike Kshanam Shya Nadrushtaranya Paramohi Tasya Viksha Swamule Praviliyanistaha. Here also, Ramana Maharishi also has told, I think they have all read that, at least know about the book Nan Yar, who am I? So in that again, God is recognized as now different from the observer. So in Gopika Geetam, again, Krishna says, the Gopikas actually, when they see Krishna, they are very happy. And when they don't see Krishna, they keep crying. But in that book, later, the Gopis also realize Krishna is just only a form of God himself. And so when they understand that, they don't cry, and they understand that Krishna has taken that body to protect the universe. Whenever there is, that's what we have seen in the last few verses also. Whenever the adharma comes up and dharma goes down, God takes avatar. So Krishna is one of the avatars of God, and that is not the true self. And so now they, in the end of Gopika, in the end, Gopika Geetam also, the gopis say that we have understood who God is now. So this is the, suppose a person realizes the true nature of avatara, one who knows the Bhagavan's Leela or sport, the one who understands the Lord in its true nature. The person does not take a body again after Maranam, he will attain liberation. He will become one with me after death. He will have Brahma Nirvana, or he will have Ishvara Aikyam. So here, that is, once when we realize, when we get the knowledge that God realization and self-realization are the same, we get Tattva Jnanam. Hari Om.
Last one.
Yeah, we'll finish now. It's pretty fair.
Vitaraga Daya Krodha Nayamamupashritah Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Bhuta Madhavamagateh. Having restored to me freed from attachment, fear, and anger, absorbed in me, purified by Jnana Yoga, may have attained my nature. So before going into the verse, let's see what actually bhakti is about. We have already seen in the bhakti yoga that what it is. The first stage for the beginner, it is Eka Rupa Ishvara Darshanam. What is Eka Rupa? That is, we all have a form. That is, from the birth till now, we've been conditioned that God has a form. And we pray, we have our own special God. And we give them relationship like a friend, a mother, father, child. So we go inside a room and communicate with God. We think God as a friend or a guide or a mother or a father, and we communicate with God. So God here is a special personal God with a special form. So this is what this is called as Eka Rupa Ishvara Bhakti. So for the second level, what is that? God, we don't see God in only one form. Everything, for example, you take nature, you see God in the lotus, you see God in the sun, we see God in the tree. Everywhere, everything, we see God. So the whole universe is God, and God alone is the universe. But even here, we have a form for God. So first and the second level, we have Sagunam Bhakti. That is, we give form to the God, and God is in form. But the last stage is formless. Nirguna. What is it actually? For so long, we've been conditioned and we've been focusing on a form. Now, moving to formless is not very easy. So, it is like transformation. That is, we get mature and we grow out of it. That's how it happens. For example, when a child goes to a park and sees a balloon, she is a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old, what will happen? She'll always ask her mother to get her the balloon. If the same child grows up and becomes a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old, what happens? Do you think till she or she want a balloon? No. That is how this also should happen. That is, we must transform ourselves from the form. That is the form we are praying to the formless. This is called as Arupa Ishvara, that is Arupa Bhakti, Adhishtana Ishvara or Arupa Ishvara, formless. So, first stage is Saguna Ishvara Bhakti. How are we going to move out of this stage is following Karma Yoga. That basically, Karma Yoga, what is Karma Yoga is whatever you do, you dedicate it as if you're dedicating it to the God. And whatever comes, whatever the result is, you accept it as the prasada from the Lord. Second stage, what is that? Gradually you have to, so when you do that, what happens is your involvement with the world moves up to the God. So in everything you do, you start seeing God. And then the third stage happens, that is moving dependence, Bhagavan dependence will be converted into self-dependence. That self-dependence happens only when we take the step forward. So this verse is about how it happens. Manmaya means keeping the Godhood as the primary goal. What is Godhood? That is nothing but moksha. So what happens when the Godhood happens? The Godhood is you discover your fullest potential. That is having a mind of compassion, mind of love, mind of security. When you have all this, you have an inner conversion, and that conversion is called as attainment of Godhood. This happens only when you get obsessed with moksha. That is how chess players are obsessed playing a chess, and when he or she wants to become the master of this, a master in this field of chess, then obviously all the concentration and whatever she or she does will be on this chess. So in the same way, moksha should be our primary goal, and our dedication and work, everything should be focused around moksha. Basically, Manmaya is a free will. Only because we human beings are gifted with that special quality called free will, where we can think for ourselves. We can think what we want in life. So when we decide moksha is what we want in life, then we work towards it. Whereas other beings are not gifted with that kind of free will of the buddhi. And they are actually to say they are pre-programmed. Whatever comes, they accept it and go. But we humans have that. So it's a special power or special quality of human associated only to human being. This next step is surrendering to God. Even we saw already seen more about this, the churning of the ocean, Samudra, where when they use the Mandara, the mountain, and the Vasuki, the snake, the Mandara started slipping inside the ocean. So when they surrendered to the God, God was took the avatar of Kurma and saved it and helped the Devas and the Asuras in journey in the ocean. So even when they surrender, the Lord appears. So like that, the second step is taking refuge in me. Mamu prashitaha. That is my effort is you have to put in your effort, but you have to surrender to God. But nothing can be accomplished without the support of the Lord. So surrendering gives us determination. So we have the engine and the compartment, the Ishvara, Anugraha, and the freedom. Now, what is the direction we have to move towards? That is Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. That is one who has mastered over Raga Dvesha Bhaya Krodha. That is the inborn weakness we all have within ourselves. When we learn to handle it, is what the direction we are looking for. For example, there is a family where husband has a timetable being followed. He goes out for work on a particular time, comes back home on a particular time. But on that day, that husband is late from work. So what will be the state of that wife? She'll be paranoid, she'll be agitated, she'll try calling him, but when there is no response from her husband or no intimation from him, naturally she'll be scared, he might have a heart attack, everything, she'll start imagining. So as soon as the person enters the house, what will be the reaction? Compassion will be lost. She'll be angry and she'll be shouting at her husband. So basically, how we look at the world, we see the world as a source of joy, then I develop attachment. When I see the world as a source of sorrow, I develop hatred. The same husband, when wife hates that husband, what will be the state? She'll be happy the husband's late. She'll not be worried. So both way the same. So I am the source of joy as well as the sorrow. Who is that I? That is the ignorant I that we think who we are. So the wise I, what is the wise I? That is true self. That is the source of Ananda. So there are stages. The first stage is we have to convert all our desires into non-binding desires. For example, you can only be a contributor. You can contribute to your health. You can walk, you can eat healthy, you can meditate, you can take care of yourself. But you cannot be a controller. I've heard many people talking about, I'm a vegan, I don't drink, I don't smoke, but I have cancer. People who drink, who smoke, who party, they are healthy. It's not that way. So you can only be a contributor. You cannot control anything. Whatever your prarabdham is, you're going to get it. That is using wisdom and devotion. Devotion is what? Accepting whatever comes your way. And the second stage is to God or developing the wisdom. That is, you have to prepare yourself for the inevitable or the choiceless. That is, what is a purified mind is Raga, Dvesha, Bhaya, Krodha. All four, your mind is nil of all those four emotions is what called as purified mind. That is, happens when surrendering to God. Then how can you be very sure that you have a purified mind? That is when nothing agitates you. You can test yourself. Somebody praises you, you get elated, then obviously your mind is still not purified. When someone scolds you, you get agitated, you get emotion, you show, then it's definitely you're still your mind needs purification. So a wise mind is free of raga, dvesha, bhaya, and krodha. It has to be master of all these four emotions. So vitaraga, bhaya, krodha, how does it happen? Is by practicing Karma Yoga, you get a pure mind. Is pure mind is enough? No, you need a wise mind. You just take a science book, you read the subject, will you be able to understand or gain knowledge? No, you have to read, you have to understand, you have to assimilate. Some experiments you have to do, only then you will understand and get the knowledge. Same way, even this is you have to Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. So that is the way we can attain jnana. So we need jnana tapas. And what is fruit of people completely purified. This jnana yoga helps, like when you get the ore, mind ore, gold ore from the mind, do you think you can use it immediately? Can it be made into an ornament? No. It needs various stages of purification. And electrolysis will be the last stage of purification. In the same way, jnana yoga is considered as the final layer to remove the impurities. Subtlest method of removing subtler impurity. So, malam, that is dislikes and dislikes, that can be, we can overcome it doing karma yoga. Then vikshepa is a wandering mind. It is subtler, that can be overcome doing vipassana yoga. And avarna, that is self-ignorance, the subtlest one that can be overcome with jnana yoga. So, Jivatma minus impurity is Paramatma, and Paramatma plus impurity is Jivatma. Matbhavam agathaha. They all have attained my nature, but they did not reach me. Reaching him is after Videha Mukti. But we have attained his nature. Still, with this Jnana Yoga, we have attained the nature of Lord Krishna. What is the nature? Satyam, Jnanam, Ananda, Brahma. Anandam, Brahma. That is the true nature of Krishna. That is nature of fullness, nature of security, and nature of Purnatva. So, recap of this whole verse is, what should be a spiritual goal? Spiritual goal should be a moksha, that should be a top priority, and material goals need to be eliminated. That is what your direction in your life should be. And restoring or taking help of the Lord in this grand journey, that is surrender to Lord. And purification of mind, that is reducing the impact of raga, dvesha, daya, krodha. And the last step is gaining self-knowledge. Very good.
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Sir, you want to leave us?